My name is Eval Turtans, and welcome to an AI Ranch, where we explore how AI is affecting businesses, startups, people around the world. Today, I'm happy to introduce Inta Buša, the CEO of the Elita, AI-driven startup for investors and businesses, where they analyze stuff. She will explain later. She has also been entrepreneur over a decade in BSMS marketing and sales agency, where she drew the company from early stage to quite significant level. And she's also the lecturer in Riga Studies University, where she teaches the courses on productivity and marketing. She's also been on Forbes 30 under 30 list, and the main interesting thing is that she's been the driving force of the AI Ranch, this podcast. So we started together on the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
So welcome.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So please give us a little bit of yourself, the background, like the education, the experience, the time in BSMS, and how did you end up with AI company?
Oh, wow. So I started I was maybe 19 years old when I started to work as a junior project manager. And it was my second year of bachelor studies. I studied political science, and then I got into marketing very soon. And I think it was 1 year in, when I was a junior, I went to the CEO of the time, board member, owner of the company, and I actually had a list. I said, okay, here are the things we are not doing. Here are the things we need to do. Here are the trend, the overall marketing is going in this direction. We also need to jump on that. And he said yes to me. I basically pointed out different problems. I also highlighted some potential solutions, and I said, I can do that. But I was just a junior. I was only
intern, junior
No,
project
I was
manager?
Junior project manager, but I was only 1 year.
How long it was before you gave this list?
I think 1 year.
Okay, you worked 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only worked 1 year there, and then I went to him and I said, I'm gonna do that. He said yes, and that's, I think, was such a big milestone in my career. I later asked him, why did you said yes? It's such a crazy thing. And he said, well, Inta, you were so determined, you were so passionate about that I just immediately thought that, oh yeah, you're gonna succeed. You're gonna actually deliver that.
Okay.
And so he believed in me, and I started to work as a project manager. I started to work with smaller brands, Latvian well-known brands as well. And from that, I just grew as a professional in marketing. Then I started to develop different business processes. I started to, develop those ideas and work on that, what I initially was planning for the company. And with the team, we executed that. So I think I was business development manager then, 2 years in a row, we increased revenue 40%. So that's huge for such an old company. What BSMS was at the time, I think it was 20 years old company. And so we got this huge increase in revenue. We got also, of course, bigger teams, bigger clients, international clients, well-recognized campaigns internationally. So everything was good. And then obviously the next logical step in my career was to be CEO.
Whoa.
And so many people think that CEO was peak of my career. It actually wasn't. I think that for CEO, it was very challenging time because COVID started, then war came. So it was such a challenging time for me personally to, balance everything, because I was the person everyone was calling to and, think, oh my God, my kids, so annoying. I need to be at home and balance work life. And obviously you can imagine that marketing was the first position every company cut off. So we needed to be very creative and come up with some new solutions. How we gonna execute some new marketing projects for our clients. So that was such a challenging time. And at the same time, as a CEO, I think we also wanted to come up with some new, maybe scalable products and scalable solutions. And that actually happened that one day, CEO, owner of the company, I think he was, then as the owner, and he said, okay, I have this business idea. but we need to develop, like analyze that and think if we're gonna work on that. And okay, so we needed to do some kind of due diligence. And from that, I started to think, okay, what are the solutions? Because for me, I didn't want to do that. It's like such a, challenging job to analyze like competitors, market, all that. And so I was thinking, okay, here's something we actually, I can do that. I can, create the elite for that. And so that's what I did. I left my CEO position and I think that sounds super crazy, but I actually left my CEO position to work on the elite.
Okay. So you mentioned some of the challenges already. So the COVID, right?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that you were able to sustain company with not going under during the COVID, right?
Yeah.
What have you learned from that period? What was the way how you did it?
Well, one thing we did, and it was a strategic decision. So we decided not to fire anyone. So we stayed the same team before COVID and after COVID. So that was challenging because obviously you need to, keep everyone kind of employed. But I think for us, it was decision, why I'm saying it was strategic decision, because I think in marketing field, it's very important that your employees are loyal to you. And so that's why we did it. The other thing, as I said, creativity. So we came up with some new services. So we thought, okay, everyone is going online. Let's do that, because actually this is amazing time to do marketing, because not many companies do that. And so we started to do online masterclasses, online workshop, online events, and those kind of things. And clients enjoyed that. So I think that was huge, important aspect why actually we could continue working.
Being creative and with your limits, you had to achieve results. If you decided you will not fire anyone, you need to get the revenue indoors.
Exactly.
Okay. And then I have heard you speak about this like work-life balance during the time of BSMS and later. Like, can you comment on that? Like, did you had something like that, or was it like working day and night?
No. Yeah. So when we went back to the offices after COVID, what I figured out very soon was that, okay, so productivity was definitely down. Nobody was very focused. So we needed to figure out how we're gonna actually also measure productivity per se as well. And so one thing we did, we started to use time tracking apps. We started to measure productivity. We started to measure how efficient we are. And then, we did all those tools as well, but we also implemented 6-hour workday.
6-hour workday?
Yeah.
For everyone?
Not for everyone. So we have two departments. One is those logistical people who are, working all over the Latvia and spending a lot of time traveling to one from to another. And the other are office people. And so for office people, for marketing professionals, we did 6-hour workday.
So what was the effect when you like moving from 8 hours and more to 6 hours? Like, did you see like huge productivity gains or something?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. And that's actually, it sounds so insane.
You did more with 6 hours.
Yeah, or the same or a bit more. Yeah, amount of work. And that's interesting. And when I think from business perspective, I may think it's like, oh, wow, how? But actually there are so many researches that supports that first, people are not consistently productive throughout the whole day.
Sure.
Right? The other thing is also how much hours can you spend on, especially if you need to, communicate with clients or create something new. So how many hours can you really be productive? And we started to think that, okay, first, we can do the same amount of work or maybe a bit more in 6 hours. So therefore, for employees, there are 2 extra hours. You can do whatever. And we had different incentives.
Can they go home?
Yeah. And actually, that's what they did. So they went home to their family members. They could have more time to be together and do stuff, also for their hobbies. And so we saw that first, their satisfaction is up. So they're more happy. Next day, they are also more, relaxed. And so they can focus more on the job they need to do. So that's great. They don't have these, other things they need to maybe deal with regarding family or home or, things like that. And the other was also regarding productivity. So they did the amount of work. Then we actually went back to the 8-hour workday after this, I think it was three-week experiment. And I heard a lot of employees saying that, wow, it's 4 o'clock and I already did everything I needed to do for today. And I think that it's like great aspect and great, just highlighting the importance, how we manage, how we plan our work. And sometimes we can really, just be more productive.
This was three-week experiment. Did you try to extend it for longer periods? What do you think?
We repeated it later. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the question is like, what do you think? Would it like again, like everybody is enthusiastic in the beginning, like work very hard, and then like flattens down again the productivity. What do you think?
Actually, it was the other way around.
Okay.
So people were very skeptical. So there were also, there were a lot of people, especially older generation, that were thinking, oh my God, what do you mean? Like, I need to do the same job, but only like, in 2 hours less? Like, how? And so for us as managers, we needed also to do a lot of new, maybe develop some new tools or, think of actually how we're going to do that. Because it's not like you can say your employee just do things faster. Like, it's not going to work like that. So we needed to come up with new strategies and also set our priorities very straight. But when we did the experiment the second time, actually then everyone was very, happy and just they had these expectations, this is going to be amazing.
Okay, and do they still do it nowadays?
I don't know. I think they maybe did some other times as well. Also, I think it depends on the seasons and so. But
and now at this moment, you're like transitioned from CEO, which is like this organizational role, and now you're the founder, basically. And I know you're running even more ventures, and this is your main venture. So, and this... being a founder, does that apply to the founder as well, or is it like more like thing that works for organizations? Yeah.
I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but at the very beginning, I said to you and other founders as well, like more serial entrepreneurs, and I said, I want to work 6 hours like a day, not more. And a lot of founders, more experienced startup founders, said to me, "Good luck." Good luck actually doing that, and good luck saying that to investors, right?
That's like an investor repellent.
Yeah. So I tried at the very beginning. For some time I did. Now, no. Now I'm back in the hamster wheel working 10 hours.
I'm just thinking maybe it's also related to the motivation. Like, for example, if this is like a large organization, right? Like everybody gets motivated if they can go earlier to their home and do more things that they like, right? But then if you're a founder, then you're already doing like it's, at least for me, it's like there's almost no separation between life and what I do, and then it's like just my motivation is to get the company going further, right? Something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very philosophical question. Because for me, always like career was my number one top priority, and I think it's the same for you, right? But again, there are so many other aspects to life, like family, your health, well-being, hobbies, and stuff. And for me, this is something I need to constantly to remind me that okay, Inta, career is very important, but also remember that there are other aspects to life as well. So I want to have this kind of work-life balance. But yeah, that's very
true. So it's
true.
like this old saying where you have like, let's say, horse, and you want the horse to do the job, but you don't want to kill the horse, so that it will not
How
be
to
able,
manage.
like it's definitely like I have read some book about like essentialism, or some like reducing things what you do so that you don't destroy yourself in the process of doing many things, but at the same time, like when you actually need to start doing things, like the theory is a little bit different than reality.
Yeah.
Like, but it's great to hear that you had this experience where it worked, and like in the future when you have again larger teams, might work again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and now moving to like from this larger structure, how many people were you in the BSMS?
I think 30.
30, so it's quite a lot. So, and then moving from that to the startup founder life, like what are the main differences you already see, and anyone else wanting to move from some kind of managerial, administrative positions, okay, think I can do it myself, something, right? What they need to be aware of.
Oh, well, one thing for sure, when you are managing 30 people, there are some problems which you don't need to take care of when you are just by yourself as a startup founder. But that being said, that also comes with a lot of experiences from other people, different perspectives, and their resources. So as a startup founder, especially if you are alone, you wear a lot of hats. So you need to do, marketing, sales, customer support, maybe take care of product and whatnot. So there are a lot of different things you need to think about. And that's not like something you can just delegate to somebody, right? And I think that was the biggest change for me, because previously as a CEO, and I love to do that.
Your main task was the delegation strategy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I thought, okay, I always knew who is, the best for the specific job. And so that's not something I can do right now.
But it's also maybe a blessing in the sense right now that you're working from like I know that you're right now also looking for investors and partners, and you yet not have this large base of support. Basically, what I have seen in America, with some startups where we have partnered in the past, where some guy from C-level positions comes and want to make their own startup, right? And then they have their friends investing lots of money, at least relatively lots, so let's say 4 or 5 million USD, and then that is a lot, especially for Eastern Europe. And then this guy starts running the startup the same way as he ran the previous company. That's like making strategic meetings 2 times a day, hiring huge staff. And the result, well, at least for that particular project, was that, let's say, in about like half a year or about a year, even with all of the market studies, whatever they did, they ran out of money, and everything just what went down. They didn't had any significant revenue towards the whole this period. And the other way, like we are, when we start from the bootstrap, right? And as you say, do everything ourselves, then it's basically, I think it kind of changes the way how you operate. I recently read one of these, I think they were related with the Y Combinator, this blog post about the founder mode and manager mode. Did you see it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that they are now, their new idea that they want to find company founders who have this founder mode, which they cannot really describe what it is properly, but this is some part of it. So yeah, so I totally understand you on that. But let's then, so in the future, probably Dealita might pivot, as there are many startups, find. But at this moment, what problem do you solve and how you use AI right now?
Yeah, when we started to validate the market, we figured out very, very fast that for investors, it's challenging to validate startups. It just takes a lot of work, a lot of resources and time as well. So we wanted to automate the process of validation and therefore offer some kind of automated tool that can, screen the internet, maybe offer you some red flags, some risk mitigation aspects, some other things you need to maybe think about before you make this decision. So we are automating that. We also see huge important aspect in the way how they communicate, meaning that right now, a lot of investors, so they love their Excel sheet, and lots of investors have Excel sheet.
I know you talked a lot of investors, so you say they like the old tools, yeah?
Yeah. I've talked with like hundreds of investors, and they love Excel sheet, and usually they have this Excel sheet with different, aspects they are checking before making this decision, and that's like so manual thing, and you can imagine how they also communicate with each other within the fund. Of course, it depends how large the fund is and how it's being, organized. But either way, so they have these online meetings, then they have transcripts, most probably WhatsApp chats, some email communication and whatnot. And so for them, they need to, sum everything up in one place and then go through the favorite Excel sheet. And so everything is super manual, and we want to automate the whole process.
Yeah, yeah. And how receptive are the investors? Like, as you say, they're already using these old tools like Excel sheets, so it sounds like that they are not like early adopters, right?
Yeah.
Or have you found some that are like data driven, AI driven, or is it something that you see in the future?
Yeah. I think that was maybe one of the, you know, paradoxes for me, especially very beginning. I thought that because they invest in these tech savvy startup
Yes.
founders, right, in innovations, obviously themselves they can be super innovative the
Yeah.
way how they organize their job. Not true at all. So
Yeah.
they love their Excel sheet, they love their these very robust tools
Yeah.
they use. So of course that really depends on the partner,
Yeah.
on the management team, but there are some investors who would love to automate that because they see that that takes a lot of resources from them, especially if they're a bigger team. They need to have associates and analysts and stuff. But if they are maybe like super small fund, and maybe then they would think that oh no, we have gut feeling first. That's also a big thing.
It's hard to compete
Yeah,
against.
and you cannot. Actually, you cannot. And they then also have this Excel sheet. So
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I don't need AI tools. I have gut feeling in
Yeah,
Excel.
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, then it brings us to the current state of businesses understanding the AI. So maybe as you know, we recently founded established the Association of Artificial
Yeah,
Intelligence here in
amazing.
the Baltics, and there's lots of companies joining, larger, smaller ones, startups, and also and one of the reasons why we did this, we saw the Eurostat data where they show that like the larger enterprises, only 8% of them use AI in their business critical process. 8%. This is like saying, like imagine saying nowadays, like we have 8% businesses use internet. Like
Yeah.
how it's really possible. Like and this just means that we like everybody is saying that we are the hype, but there is still long way till this productivity. So what are your thoughts of this? Do you have the similar experience working with these funds, trying to introduce them with AI tools, with other perspectives of other companies? How far we are with this AI adoption?
Well, in business sector, definitely we have so much to learn. I think for many people, if they are very opportunist employees, they will think of, oh, how can we,
Automate my work.
yeah, exactly. Maybe use some AI in there because it's just trendy or something like that. But I think that very often these ideas are driven by specific people. There needs to be this kind of opportunist people in company. They're gonna say we need to have AI. So I think we need to start somewhere. That's good. But the other thing is, yeah, and this is interesting. So many people think that everyone is using AI, although it's not reality. I
Yes.
work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and when I ask them, how do you use AI? It's ChatGPT, asking like questions and just getting answers. So I don't know
It's not
why.
automation.
Yeah.
It's not like replacing the business processes, automating work. There's so much more we can do. So that's the companies, but then you also have this other side where you're a lecturer in a university, and you've been doing that for a couple of years already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see the youth, right, and the attitude towards the AI, the entrepreneurship. So are we doing good, bad? Are we in what direction we are going? Like, do you see the youth understanding the effect of the AI to the businesses and how entrepreneurial they are?
Well, good thing is that they do use the AI. So most of the students, and I think it was like 90% of students use AI in their studies. So that's a good thing. Not so bad thing is they don't know how to use that. So, for example, we had this one, they needed to create their blog article for a specific marketing brand. And obviously all of them used ChatGPT. And I think out of 72 these blog articles, 50 were, I would say, totally like copy paste, like ChatGPT written. not original at all.
Generic.
Super basic, not interesting at all. And so like average, nothing special. Then maybe 15 were quite good. They were very well, but maybe needed some tweaks. And I would say 5 or 7 were like excellent. Obviously, also written by ChatGPT, but a lot of original ideas by their authors. So I think that's so important for students to understand how to use AI so they can also create these amazing blog articles or whatever content they're creating within their studies. Good thing is also I heard that, as I don't know about other universities, but at Riga Strategic University, we will have specifically dedicated AI course, how to use AI in your studies and how to be more productive. And I think that's a very good incentive from university.
Yeah, I think I know actually the person who is leading that course. I think I don't want to make a fool of myself, but I think she's Agatha. But yeah, that's great insight. The interesting thing I think is that you said like from this assignment where you do the this presentation, there is the let's say 50 of those. They were very similar, generic, right? So it means that like if you just know how to use ChatGPT, any kind of AI tools, it's totally not enough because everybody else can also learn that very quickly. It's like, being genius using in mathematics using mathematical calculator, right? I discovered how to do multiplication, right? And everybody can do that. You're not a genius doing that. So it's like being able to use that calculator to add value more than anyone else. Like it's just getting you to some level, but then you need to surpass it. And how can you, with these AI tools available, right? Everybody have the access. Everybody can learn it very quickly. It's not enough. How do you can teach them to achieve this excellence? What is necessary there?
I think it doesn't matter what kind of tool you use if you don't actually practice using this specific tool. So I think it's very important for students to just practice. And with practical real-life examples, you can, be better and better with each time. Obviously, when you write this blog article, and I think they did it for the first time, they maybe thought, okay, so I'm going to use ChatGPT, I'm going to be super great, but then they have this average blog article, and I think they just got reality check. That first, you obviously need to train yourself using the tool, whatever, just Google, go to AI Ranch podcast, learn about that there, or, go on YouTube. And second, also, I think it was super important for them to got this reality check because then they kind of understand that everyone can do it in the same level as they just did. But it's your ideas, it's your background, it's your, experience, whatever you want to share as a storyteller, that's super important. And basically, I would say the most important aspect. So you want to use your knowledge and your, whatever it's your unique selling point, your unique story, and then you can put it in AI and,
So you're running these courses and you're talking now about the importance of experience, background, and those things. Like how you can gain them in academic environment. Is it something that in the future actually people need to do things themselves, acquire this so that they can add this value, or can you teach it somehow?
Yeah, we are learning that in the course as well. So all throughout the whole course, and unfortunately, it's only like 3 weeks, so that there's the limit what you can actually learn there. And obviously, our focus is on marketing, not on AI tools. But I want to integrate that and show them how to leverage AI so they can be better marketing professionals as well. But I think it's just very important to challenge yourself as a student as well and use your knowledge and whatever story you have and go out there and do whatever practical tasks you can. So it's not very hard to reach out to any founder or CEO or head of marketing team and say to him, hey, I'm gonna, just train on your company. I'm gonna create 2 blog articles for you just for free, just to, train my skills. And I think that's something that students actually need to do, not just sit at university and kind of expect that lecturer's gonna do everything for you and you're just gonna get it.
So you do that, you reach out the companies, and you incorporate that in
Yeah,
the
we have
course.
a lot of guest lectures, real life case studies, and actually that was one of the main reasons why university invited me in the first place there, because I had this practical experience working with these big international brands, and they wanted this at university, and so that's why I'm there. I want to share my practical knowledge and experience and take on things, and basically give them a reality check.
Yeah, so you're mentioning that, of course, ChatGPT, the language models. Do you see also some other AI tools that are really useful for professionals in this field, and yourself have discovered recently? And maybe how do you find these tools? Should we maybe need to add some kind of AI ranch edition where we show latest tools, like
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
But how you manage nowadays, and can you share something with listeners?
In order to learn about the newest AI tools, what I do is first I subscribe to AI newsletters. They have these different summaries of new AI tools in the market and what's new in the field. So newsletters is definitely something I would subscribe for sure and recommend. The other thing is also just to go to networking events and different events in general, especially AI events or startup events. Usually most of the startups also are somehow using AI in their business. So I would just learn from them and network with them and learn from other startup founders. Also listen to AI Ranch, right?
Yeah, we need to make episodes about the latest news, tools, like maybe every week. I don't know, like if I can do that, but probably need to do that.
I think that would be super useful because, I so often ask this question to different entrepreneurs. I just yesterday asked this on Threads. I was like, okay, entrepreneurs, I know that only like 8% of you are using AI. What kind of tools do you use? And, almost everyone said ChatGPT. And that's it, not even like Perplexity. So...
Yeah. There's such a noise in LinkedIn, in any networks, right? We have talked before. We've seen many also from the marketers, other professionals suddenly transforming into AI experts, and then it's like being these people who say like which tools could we use, how we could use it, but it'd be nice actually probably to share something, but it must not be too technical, right?
Exactly. Non-technical.
Yeah, so you need to help me to dial it down a little bit. Otherwise, when we started, we tried something like that, and I think nobody understood what I was telling. So we need to do it really dummy way, but same time it should be valuable. So okay, so. Towards the end, what kind of knowledge you have gained in these last few years when you transition from the CEO to the founder to seeing how things work? What you have not been able to acquire if you would stay in the previous job? Do you have something like that already?
A lot. I think a lot of things, like list of things. Obviously startup world is so different. And although I was CEO in relatively small company, I thought I kind of understand how things are, being done, but not true at all. So startup world is very, very different. I think one of the first things I learned was how important it is to find product market fit and validation in general. And that's something you highlighted me very soon. I remember we had this conversation and you said, well, Inta, you need to go out and talk with investors. And I was like, why?
You did a good job.
But I was like, why? Why do I need to do that? I already know that this is so cool product, right? And so that's not the right approach. So definitely validation is so important. I've done this in the past almost 2 years now. So that never stops. You always need to, do that. Then also I would say that just communicating with investors, having this ability to explain your idea in one sentence. So very quickly in 30 seconds and so, this pitching all the time, also 3 minutes is something I think sometimes we overlook this, how, that's like huge ability to actually do that. I recently talked with one entrepreneur, and she's from corporate business sector, and she said, "How do you do that? Like, I'm so used to like 20-minute, just presenting the business and so, and you need to present it in 3 minutes. Like, how? What do you say?" And I think it's like your ability in general for startup founders, ability to get your points very clear, very sharp, and just keep short. I think that's a very important aspect as well. So I learned a lot in these couple of past
so
2 years.
Do you think you would be willing to go back to any CEO positions?
No.
No, not
I
anymore.
don't think so. I don't think so. So when you are a startup founder, obviously there are so many challenges. It's so hard to balance everything, and you work these long hours. But that also comes with, the satisfaction when you get something done. It's amazing, and I think I've met so amazing people in the field. Startup community is just amazing, and I love what I do. So I don't think that I'm gonna be able, at least in the future, in the next years, to go back to some company and just to be a CEO or whatever. So I don't think I'm gonna actually do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really wishing all the luck with Elita. So I recently went to America and then also to Dubai. The one learning that I came back from there, like we already with our products are quite late stage in the sense that of course we're not like real in the global stage, we're not late stage, but here. So if I would start it again, it probably start immediately in Silicon Valley or some place there, where it's where you can do it faster and like. It is just everybody have the connections. Like you ask somebody, and the next person knows the CEO of Google or whatever. So, are you thinking about doing this somewhere else, or are you staying here?
Well, I'm thinking maybe to move to Denmark because there's the great, startup community there, almost like second Silicon Valley here in Europe. So I definitely agree with you. And I think the environment is so important. So you want to be surrounded by the best people, and the professionals and everyone who can help you. And I think also when looking back, mentors and, people who are being part of this project, it's so important to be surrounded by the best people possible. So yeah, definitely environment, super important. So I've been thinking maybe to go to Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah. So investors in Denmark should keep an eye on you, right?
Yeah.
I believe this your story about how you rise to the CEO in that a larger agency is something that investors should recognize probably in you as well. It's not just the product; it's also the founder and the dedication. So hopefully, not hopefully, but you for sure will find this. So find the right partners, find the right match, and all the luck with that. And let's keep working also on AI Ranch and other things. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You. Yeah, so thanks for joining the episode of AI Ranch. As a gratitude, please subscribe, share, like, and see you in the next one.